live rugby league. Dial *515# to subscribe. The TV1 News is proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TV1 News. I'm Mary Silla.
And I'm Terry. Join me later on in the bulletin with sports.
In this edition, work clarifies on awarding contracts. Miss PNG gets title and Lay City FC reigns.
Secretary for Works and Highways clarified that all road contracts in the country went through a proper National Procurement Commission tendering process. Despite many compliance processes, the department did not make decisions on the awarding of contracts.
In response to the claims raised by MP for Nipa Kutubu, Dr. Billy Joseph, during the first assembly meeting of the Southern Islands in Mendi recently, Secretary for Works and Highways David Were clarified that road contracts were awarded to contractors based on merits and qualifications. He said final decisions come from the National Executive Council and not the Department of Works and Highways.
Works doesn't decide. Final decision comes from the cabinet. We got a set process that we strictly comply with to ensure we bring on board best contractors who can deliver quality project that gives us value for money. Why we are tendering works is to get everyone through a competitive process, so we select the best.
Member for Nipa Kutubu at the assembly meeting called on Works and Highways to stop giving out dubious contracts to a certain contractor that do not complete projects on time.
Why is it that the same stupid contractors are getting money from the department? Who's doing it? Who said all the money? One can contractor who is at fault? Works department, you need to wake up.
Vera clarified that contracts always went through proper legal clearance after the NEC interventions.
If the contractors are not performing, there is a process to deal with. There is a process. The contract highlights or specifies clearly how to deal with delays related to contractor performance issues. There are clauses to deal with this.
Vera said for the first time the government have awarded contracts to local contractors with strict guidelines. Freddie Moe, TV1 News.
Credit Corporation PNG Limited will be sponsoring Project UMI's Project Walk program for the next 12 months. The program is Project UMI contribution to overcoming the youth unemployment challenge in Papua New Guinea.
For the next 12 months, Credit Corporation PNG Limited will be sponsoring Project Walk, a program that facilitates the training of a limited number of students at a time by providing an overview of hints and tips on resume writing, job search strategies, preparation for interview, and important social skills for making a good impression. CCPNG's Chief Executive Officer, Denny Robinson, says 5 schools in Central Province have been nominated for the program. In the next 12 months, about 450 students will go through this program.
Credit Corp's delighted to be involved with Project Yumi in today's workshop, Project Walk. For us, it's about giving back to the local communities, being in the communities in which our people live on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, youth unemployment is a big issue in PNG, and we think that programs like this will help young people to be able to get the jobs that they're looking for.
Not only will participants of the program be provided with essential job-seeking strategies, but also budget and financial advice.
I think that one of the issues and the challenges in the PNG community is actually putting away some of the money for a rainy day. And so what we talk about is when they're starting work, to open up an account to receive their salary, but also to open up other accounts with a view of putting some savings away, so that, you know, if there are unexpected expenses and other things that they need to provide for in the future, that they're starting off their working career with a savings pattern and a savings program.
CEO Robinson says the IEA College of TAFE at Ella Beach have made available 2 classrooms for the next 12 months for Project Walk, including access to printers and computers. Whilst the Yan Port Moresby Chamber of Commerce will provide support through mentorship by its members to participants of the program.
The people of Lihir in the Namatanai district of New Island Province have witnessed an historic groundbreaking ceremony for the construction and sealing of Lihir Ring Road project. Minister for Transport and Civil Aviation Walter Schnobelt, together with representatives of various stakeholders, did the official groundbreaking ceremony at the Palia village on Lihir Island recently.
Minister for Transport and Civil Aviation and Namatanai MP Walter Snowbolt, when speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony, says the 150 million Kina Lihir Ring Road is one of the first of more than 20 projects implemented under the Lihir Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA, of 1995. He says the Lihir Ring Road is a major infrastructure development project finally approved by the state under the Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme, or ITCS, in late 2020 under his leadership for the developer LGL to go ahead to upgrade and seal the ring road from Palia to Juan segment.
So time you play Maki me come up member, the first term of me initiating this push to make sure it gets the key support lo district head lo Yumi. Through long let the department lo make sure it come up lo narpa site where Yumi look him now kai blo then belong in come up. Yes, it's taken us 27 years. Now amazing to you, 27 years now, 27 kilometers.
The Lihir Ring Road, when completed, will benefit 13 villages in 6 wards of the Nimamar LLG from Palia to Juan. Minister Snowbolt commended Nimamar local level government, President Stanley Tunut, and 5 other LLG presidents of Namatanai district for believing in him to finally have this project gets underway for the people of Lihir.
Matthew Fallon and team, thank you long. Submit him 10W. Thank you long. Win him 10W. Nato mi play Samuel Sam. History play you lo walk him road. I mi killer lo mi play. We know you're gonna do a good job.
Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
This is TV1 News. After the break, Fresh Produce partners with UB, DDA, and Miss PNG wins title.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Very superstitious writings on the wall. When you believe in things, but you don't understand it, superstition ain't the way.
It's that time again! Scale Rise is giving you the chance to win some Scale School money for 2023. Over 220 winners, 4 fortnightly draws, that's 55 fortnightly winners. Cash prizes starting at 1,000 kina, 2,000 kina, 3,000 kina. They also have consolation prizes of 500 kina. Buy any Scale Rise or Ori Rise to enter the promotion for your chance to win the Scale School money. Terms and conditions apply. Scale Rise,
the brain changer.
Open Net.
I want you to win somebody's heart. That's Naren.
I never asked for your help with anything, Dad. Don't impose your expectations.
I'm going to be the one who makes the final decision here.
Welcome back. The Fresh Produce Development Agency have signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Ungabena District Development Authority in partnership to implement activities of Fresh Produce Development Program, where fresh food is produced and sold for cash income. The agreement was signed by Chief Executive Officer for FPDA Mark Borinu and the Ungabena MP Kinoka Feo at the FPDA House in Goroka.
To strengthen the partnership, Ungabena District Development Authority have presented 2 million kina to FPDA to commence the project in the district. FPDA will be providing expert technical advice and skills in supporting smallholder fresh produce farmers in horticulture in the district. MP for Ungabena Kinoka Feo thanked the FPDA for coming on board and partnering with the UBDDA to drive the agriculture sector in the district.
It's not the only money, but like you exhaust that 2 million, we put some more money again until for the full 5-year term when we start. I want us to roll everything across our district, and whatever it costs, we will make sure funding is available.
The major objectives of these services are establishing a vibrant fruit and vegetable production system in Ungabena district, establishing a farm input supply system, supporting local fresh produce industry, and developing semi-commercial to commercial farmers using improved model farm facilities. The key activities under this MOU include establishing cold storage facility for storing fresh produce, procuring capital items to implement a project, and training local staff to support project implementations. FPDA CEO Mark Vorinu thanked the Ungabena District Development Authority for the partnership and committed to work with the district in bringing all the major objectives of the agreement into fruition.
One of something I mean, whole livelihoods belong non-plus and agriculture. At the time, FPDA say talk out na we say ask him all member lokam by we can partnership one time looking all programs long district na one time long FPA na we can work do one time but like the time we must
Bena District Development Authority will provide the funding necessary for the implementation of the project each year for a period of 3 years on a pro rata basis during the term of this MOU. UBDDA, with the support of FPDA, will work closely with farmers across the LLGs to develop local fresh produce industry and support export of produce to local formal markets outside the district. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Meantime, Chief Executive Officer for FPDA, Mark Warinu, has called on other districts in the country to partner with FPDA to assist farmers in the rural areas.
FPDA is looking at signing partnerships with the districts right across the country. That's the only way we see that the services, the outreach programs will be effectively rolled out right throughout the country. The first signing this morning between the Ungarbena district and the FPDA paves the way for the partnership rollout program for 2023. It's a very important arrangement that we have. The district will take ownership of the programs.
Miss Papua New Guinea, Josie Nicholas, is now crowned the new Miss Pacific Islands 2023 as she represented PNG in Apia, Samoa for the 34th Miss Pacific Islands pageant. Miss Nicholas took back the title and took the Best Talent category and People's Choice Award on the pageant night on Friday, February 3rd. During her pre-pageant interview, she was given the topic education and spoke articulately on the subject. On crowning night, Miss PNG shared that she aims to do her best to represent the Pacific during her reign with dignity and respect for the Pacific people and their cultures. The first runner-up was Miss Samoa and second runner-up Miss American Samoa. In overseas news, the Prime Minister is the latest person to slam the state government's bushfire recovery scheme after it was referred to the corruption watchdog. The scheme froze out communities in Labour-held seats after the office of then Deputy Premier John Barilaro changed the criteria.
5 a.m. start.
Matt Keane out and about in southwest Sydney to unveil the latest release of funds from the government's West Invest program.
You can imagine amazing running tracks, significant investment in trees, tree canopy.
Those projects will see $421 million coming into this beautiful part of Sydney.
But the government is having to answer questions about a previous grant scheme. This week, the Auditor-General found all but one Labor seat missed out on fast-track bushfire recovery funds following an intervention by the office of then Deputy Premier John Barilaro.
People who need support should be given it, and this finding that the rules were changed in order to distort the funding of disaster relief is just reprehensible and beyond contempt.
Obviously, things can be done better. That's why we had an independent review. We've adopted the recommendations and we've strengthened our grants guidelines here in New South Wales.
The report on the scheme has now been referred to the ICAC.
Those people that live in communities that had Labor members of Parliament that didn't get those emergency grants need answers.
7 weeks out from the election, the government is also facing questions about its plans for the South Coast seat of Kiama. Former Liberal turned Independent Gareth Ward has confirmed he'll recontest the seat, despite facing historic sexual abuse charges, which he denies. The Liberals are yet to announce their own candidate.
The Liberal Party will be running in Kiama and will be winning Kiama. We will be seeking to beat Gareth Ward at the general election.
Labor is urging the Liberals to rule out preferencing the Independent.
And that ends the news segment. Coming up next in Sports with Terry, Lay City FC reigns and junior softballers learn basics. Now is the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people. When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years. He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
I came from the remote part of Eastern Highlands. I have seen the laboring mother somewhere on the road coming to the nearest aid post to deliver a baby. And on the way, somehow, either the mother or the baby passed away.
We saw that his work was really specific in trying to find solution to the problem. Oh, Tommy!
My wife, she's a midwife, and she said we have to build up a waiting hut so that we can accommodate those marginalized pregnant mothers. We all have a weakness and strength, and we must all hand in hand and then support so that we have a good community to live in.
Welcome back. In sports, in front of 4,500 fans at the Marley Brown Oval in Gladstone, Queensland, Australia, the NRL Dolphins downed Central Queensland Capras in the first trial match yesterday, winning 24-8. On his first year in the Plus Cup, 24-year-old Roderick Tai, who is one of 4 Kumul players that joined the Dolphins, ran out on the field and managed to score a try for the Dolphins. Before the trial, Tai stated that last year was a big year for him. The highlight for him last year was making the Kumul's team and playing at the World Cup, but his goals are now focused on getting himself an NRL contract. Tai hopes he stays back after his performance at the training and trial match. Lae City FC have been crowned reigning kings of PNG soccer after disposing of arch-rivals Hekari United 5-3 to retain the NSL title in the thriller at the Sir John Guy Stadium in Port Moresby yesterday. It was after extra time that decided the ultimate outcome in Lae's favour after both teams were locked up 1 apiece at the end of regulation time.
Lae City is in party mode right now after Morbe franchise Lae City FC were crowned champions for the 4th consecutive time in the National Soccer League Grand Final decider over traditional rivals Hekari United. The big showdown was preceded by the 3rd and 4th playoff between Lae natives and Gulf Komara and witnessed by dignitaries including the National Sports Minister Don Poirier as special guest and PNG FA President John Capinato. From the outset, it was a neck-to-neck affair as both teams go into tempo, but it was Hekari that drew first blood in the opening 10 minutes to take an early lead 1-0. Lae City, despite their champions tag and numerous grand final experiences, were kept at bay by the fast and youthful Hekari outfit, who had a spring in their step, maintaining pressure for most of the half. Smart tactics by the Lae boys resulted in a penalty inside Hekari's goal mouth and opted for a shot at goal. And who better to do it than Lae's maestro defender Alvin Komolong to level the score at 1-1 until half-time. After the break, intensity of the game continued with defending champions Lae City's experience coming into play, showing a lot more urgency and control to match Hekari's offensive. The boys in red actually had a number of scoring chances on offer, but to no avail thanks to Lae's committed defensive scramble to hold them out until the stroke of full time. The thriller then went into extra time with no winner in sight before the penalty shootout came into play that saw Lae City successful with 4 out of 5 attempts to decide the ultimate champions for 2023. Hekari could only manage 2 goals. At full time, Lae City FC 5, Hekari United 3.
The BSP League Junior Softball competition proper commences next weekend at the Bissini Softball Diamonds. While registrations are still open, more young boys and girls are encouraged to come out and register for the various age groups from under 8, under 12, under 15 to under 18.
Since the word got out about the introduction of League or junior softball, today a good number, mostly boys, turned up at the Bissini Diamonds to get a first feel of the game of softball. But Moresby Men's Softball Association coordinator Konsi Bias said due to a sudden influx of more boys, they have extended registrations until this week before competition starts next week.
Basically what we wanted to do was hold registrations, and then the ones that are registered last weekend would come today and as you can see just run through the basics and fundamentals of softball.
The sessions were quite enlightening and were more focused on getting down to the very basics of the game and learning the right techniques from throwing, catching to batting, and getting them to understand the rules of the game and getting their confidence up.
It's basically technique, mastering the technique of how to feel the ball, how to feel the softball ball properly, how to throw, and communication, and building that confidence for those the new kids that are trying out softball.
Konsi said softball is not only for NGI, thus is encouraging young boys and girls from the other regions to come and join.
It's good to see. We have a wide range from all parts, as you said, from PNG.
He said the competition would encourage boys and girls to play in mixed teams and will play under the modified rules of softball.
And that ends the sports segment for now. Back to you, Maricela.
Thanks, Terry. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you're feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Have a top week ahead. Bye for now.
Bye.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.